rapidly see a brand new Trump economic boom. It's going to be booming like it was 4 years ago. Thank you. But with 4 more years of Kamala, the California socialist, you know, she destroyed San Francisco. Then she destroyed the whole state. Look at what's going on in California. With your family and our country, it'll never recover. If you have any more time with these people, it's already, I'm worried about the next 3 months, if you think about it. These people are grossly incompetent. You'll end up in World War III, I'll tell you. And I hope I'm not right about that. You know, do you ever see the hats? Trump is right about everything. I don't want to be right about it. Her policies of open borders and double-digit inflation, inflation like we've never seen before. It's destroying middle-income families, working families, all families. Will demolish your life savings. 40 or 50 million illegal aliens will invade our country during the next 4 years if they're in. 40 or 50 million. Medicare and Social Security. You know, she said she wants to put everybody on health care. You know, that's wonderful. It's all wonderful. First of all, they shouldn't be told to come here. Many of them were fine where they were. But no country can sustain this. Social Security will buckle and collapse. The suburbs will be overrun with violent crime and savage foreign gangs. That's what they're doing. You know, they're sending all their gangs into the United States, right? Look, there's front row Joes. You didn't get into the front row. What happened to you? Oh, what happened? Thank you. We have front row Joes. They've been to 229 rallies. And then, look at these people. These, I call them the beautiful ladies, and you're not allowed to say that anymore. It's the end of your political career. You say beautiful. You're barely allowed to say ladies, right? Because that could also be destructive. But they're beautiful, they're ladies, and they're great. And they've been to 216 rallies from North Carolina. They look great. Happily married. I got to talk to their husbands. I don't know. They're way over 200 rallies, and they're incredible people. Thank you very much, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate it. Together, we will stop Kamala Harris's nation-wrecking. I'll tell you what, when you see what she's done to our nation, she's wrecking our nation. The radicalism will take back our country from the worst administration in American history. Biden was the worst president in the history of our country. She's acknowledged to be the worst vice president in the history of our country. She doesn't have a clue. You know, if she doesn't have a teleprompter, she can't even speak. Did you see her the other night? They put a camera in her face. She can't even talk. We just went through 4 years. Let's not go through another 4 years. Can't talk. That was terrible. You know, by the way, I'd like to congratulate Vladimir Putin for having made yet another great deal. Did you see the deal we made? Now, look, we want to get people in. You know, we got 59 hostages. I never paid anything. They released some of the greatest killers anywhere in the world, some of the most evil killers they got, and we got our people back. But, boy, we make some horrible, horrible deals, and it's nice to say we got them back, but does that set a bad precedent, Bert, right? Does that set a bad precedent, Bert? Harris has the most ultra-left-wing agenda of any presidential candidate ever in history. There's never been anybody like this. She is considered more left-wing than crazy Bernie Sanders. Look at her. She's worse than Bernie. And she happens to be really a low IQ individual. She really does. She has a very low IQ. We don't need a low IQ. President Xi of China said, oh, good, we have another one, a low IQ individual. They love dealing with low IQ. They love dealing with low IQ people, and they got him here, I'll tell you. We got them all. She is terrible. She's worse than he. I think she's worse than him. By the way, they really took it away from the guy, right? I don't feel sorry for him because he's a bad guy. You know, he's weaponized the whole thing. And Nobody's ever done that in this country, but he's a bad guy. But people feel sorry for him. They did a coup. He just doesn't know it. But actually, he does know it. You know that. They said, Joe, you got 14 million votes. It's yours, but you're going to give it up. You're going to give it up right now, Joe. You're giving it up right now. No, I'm not. I was elected democratically. I was elected. No, you're giving it up, Joe. We're either going to do it the nice way or the hard way, Joe. You're getting the hell out. And it was the debate performance. So here's what happened in the debate. You know, we went there. It was the highest rated debate ever, and which was a great compliment. And as I left the debate stage, I took off because other people were entering the stage. You understand. I said, I don't want to confront other people. So we had a great debate. But as I left, CNN, I won't say who, but they said that was the single greatest debate performance I've ever seen. And this went on for 2 days. They were saying how great I was. On the third day, they didn't mention that anymore. They said he was terrible. I liked it the first way better. I made him choke. Don't kid yourself. We made him choke. He was choking like a dog. He was choking. He was choking like a dog. And that was the end of him. I mean, that was the end from that. Then they said, okay, this was a disaster. So then they started doing interviews with people that are, you know, 100% bought. The media, the fake news media, they had some people interviewing him, like George Slopadopoulos. ABC. ABC's one of the worst, by the way. They're all sort of bad when you get right down, but ABC's bad. And they're asking him hardball questions like, where did you stay last night? Did you think you did well in the debate, even though you could? Did you ever see a guy in a debate, you know, they give you like 2 minutes to answer, and you want to use up, you got so much fertility in there, you want to use up every second, and he'd answer a question. You have 92 seconds left. And I kept saying, I'll take them. And he said, oh. You have 92 seconds left. He goes, oh. This is not what he wanted. He left a lot of time on the board. But I went right down to the last second. I didn't want to go a little bit over because I know they'd cut me. They would have cut me. But they were very fair, actually, CNN, shockingly, honestly. They were very fair. They want to do another one. You know, we're doing one with Fox if she shows up. I don't think she's going to show up. She can't talk. She can read a teleprompter. I'd give her about a 6 on a scale of 10, 6. For talking, I'd give her less than a 1. We need people that can talk. Kamala pledged to give free taxpayer-funded health care to all illegal aliens. How do you like that idea? Which will destroy Social Security. She called for the abolition of ICE. Listen, ICE, I know some people here. 2 of them are really tough guys. They're fighters. They're vicious people. They're good, tough people. They don't want to work for ICE. ICE will go into a pack of MS-13 killers and thugs. And for about 2 minutes, you just see fists flying back and forth, and then they stand up and they win, and they grab them, they throw them in a paddy wagon, they get them the hell out of the country. And she's calling them the equivalent of KKK, okay? And she loves deadly sanctuary cities. By the way, all of the things you're hearing now, she's now denying. But, you know, the one good thing about the internet, you press a button and you got it. Although they are trying to delete everything. You know, they changed the picture of me from a couple of weeks ago, and they really radicalized it. They changed it, you know, using AI. They changed it. They had all the people on the stage who were angry, and they were smart and sharp and very brave, and they had them all big smiles on their face. Can you believe that? They put the agents, who I have to tell you, say what you want, those people were brave. They were running to me, and the bullets were flying. The Secret Service, they were very brave. They were very brave, I can say. They were very brave. They were running at me, and they knew the bullets were going right over my head at that point. The first one was not a good situation. Not a good situation. That was really something incredible. That was from God. That was from God. Because the chances, that was from God. For all of you non-believers, that one was for God, right? Boom. That was a close one. But I just want to say, Wallabir, though, they were very brave. They pounced on me. They pounced on me, and I heard those things whizzing over me. They were whizzing, and I have to say that because, you know, people take abuse, and there were mistakes made. There were mistakes made, pretty bad ones. But the bravery of that moment was incredible. And also that the sniper, the Secret Service, who's a phenomenal, talented shooter, one bullet from hundreds of yards away, if he doesn't hit his target, and he hit his target, boom. But from hundreds of, if he doesn't hit the target, then you have Corey and a lot of other people that are dead. Corey was great. Two other great gentlemen, warriors, great Trump people. We love them. And they're really, we thought they were going to be gone too. The doctors were incredible. They did a great job, an unbelievable job. But if that sniper, and he had 5 seconds to think. He did not know about it beforehand, by the way. He had 5 seconds. He saw the flash, and he knew what that was. And within 5 seconds, he got off his shot. One bullet, think of it, one bullet. And that was the end. Otherwise, you would have had many people dead. He did a hell of a job. And that was from a very far distance. That was from basically about triple the distance. It was a much longer shot. So we want to thank him, and we want to thank all of the people in Secret Service for their bravery, because they were very brave. I mean, this was a bad thing. Very brave. But she refuses to even say the words illegal alien or radical Islamic terrorist. She says nope. And the main thing, think of this, she wants to let mass amnesty and citizenship. She wants all illegals to have mass amnesty. Everybody can. Even criminals, because many of them that are coming in are from prisons and jails and mental institutions, insane asylums. They hate when I use Dr. Hannibal Lecter as the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Oh, they go, look at all the media back there. Look at all the fake news. That's a lot of fake news. That's a lot of fake news, Bert. But she doesn't want to get involved. Look, here's a story. When a politician says something young in life, that's where they are. That's what they believe in. Defund the police. All the things that she said, that's where she would go if she ever got the chance. She's never going to get the chance. Our country will be destroyed. She's worse than Biden. She's worse than Bernie Sanders. She's Bernie Sanders, but not as smart. That's the way I view her. I said she's a dumb version of Bernie Sanders, and actually further left than him. She supports mandatory gun confiscation. I'm sure you wouldn't mind that. Would anybody mind if they came into your house and took away your gun or your guns? Oh, I'm shocked. I'm shocked to hear that. She's for taking away all of your guns. The problem is they won't take them away from the bad guy. The bad guy's not giving up the guns. The good guys are going to, oh, well, yes, ma'am, here's my gun, thank you. Now you're totally defenseless in your house. No, you can't do that. She said that a 70 to 80% tax hike is, quote, a bold idea that should be discussed. Oh, that's nice. She co-sponsored the $100 trillion Green New Scam. She wants to abolish all oil and coal and natural gas. We want to work on wind. We want to have wind blowing. She vowed to ban fracking. She wants the government to stop people from eating red meat. She wants to get rid of your cows. No more cows. No more cows. Oh, it's serious. You know, in Europe, You know, you smile and you think about it, but in Europe, they're sort of doing it. They don't want any cattle. She wants to get rid of gas-powered cars and replace them with all electric. They don't go far. They cost too much. They're all made in China. Other than that, they're fantastic. And I'm for electric cars. I have to be, you know, because Elon endorsed me very strongly, Elon. So I have no choice. But he knows. No, I am for him. I'm for him for a small slice is a slice. But you want to have gas-propelled cars. You want to have hybrids. You want to have every kind of a car imaginable. They want to go all electric. And there's no way you can ever load them up. They call them loading them. You can't load them. We're going to have to spend $9 trillion in the Middle West. You saw they built chargers. Now, a charger is a gas pump with electricity come through it. Is that good? So it's like for 8 chargers, they spent $9 billion. Is that a good deal? So at that rate, it would be $10 trillion to charge up the country. The whole thing is crazy, right, Mr. Preacher? She wants to get rid of 2 very special words to me, and I came up with this because I noticed when you went into stores, I used to go into stores, now I wouldn't want to go into stores because they have everything under lock and key. You ever see they have bars up, they have glass up? I don't know how you can do business like that. I'd like to buy a toothpaste, please. Oh, wait till the clerk comes. You know, 25 minutes. The clerk. They open this heavy glass armored door. How the hell do you make money doing that? It used to be that if somebody robbed your store, you would be very tough about it, right? Now, Kamala started this. Anything under $1,000, you can do whatever you want. And these guys are sitting out there. You ever see them? They've got paper. Okay, go ahead. Whoop, that's over that. Drop that back. Put that. There's no crime if it's less than $1,000. She's the one who started it. She is a lunatic. She wants to get rid of these 2 very special words. You remember I used to bring it up all the time in 2016. By the way, we did much better in 2020 than we did in 2016, but these are minor details. We did much better. They said, what was the difference? I said, well, we got millions of more votes, you know, as you know that too. But we're not going to let that happen again. Ready? The 2 words are Merry Christmas. She doesn't want anybody saying Merry Christmas. Now she's denying it, and then they found the tape last night. She's such a liar. She denies all this stuff. She said, I was not the border czar. She was the New York Times has a headline, border czar. She was the border czar. She was the worst border czar. She was the worst czar in history. Kamala's radical ideas belong in a San Francisco commune filled with far-left freaks, but they do not belong in the White House. They do not belong in the United States of America. This November, Georgia is going to tell Kamala that we will not let her turn America into a communist country. Remember I used to say, we will never be a socialist country. Well, I was right. They skipped socialism. I was right. I was right. It will never be a socialist country. I'd say that. State of the Union, I said, we will not ever allow our country to be a socialist country. I was right. It's gone communist. It skipped socialism. It never stopped. The train never stopped at the socialism world, the world of socialism. Not a good one, but the world of communism is many times worse. Now that they've swapped out Biden, is he going to the Democrat convention? This is a big question. I'd like to go to watch Kamala get sworn in as they ripped it away from him. They took away his presidency. What do you think, Mr. Congressman? You had a very good speech. Didn't he make a good speech? What do you think about ripping away their socialism there? What do you think about ripping away the guy's presidency, right? No, it's not democracy. Remember the words they use? They are a threat to democracy. They've been saying that about me for 7 years. I think I got shot because of that, okay? People said, he's a threat to democracy. No, I'm the one that is saving democracy. It's great. They're a threat. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. That's nice. Thank you, Marjorie. No, we're saving democracy. Wow. I'm going to use that more often. I've never used that before. I'm always hitting them. I should say instead, I'm going to save democracy and get a nice big applause. It is true, though, certain phrases get amazing response, like, I will keep men out of women's sports. Now you find out I'm right. I used to use the barbells. I thought, now all you have to do is look at the boxers. This young girl from Italy, a champion boxer, she got hit so hard she didn't know what the hell hit her. It's a person that transitioned. He was a good male boxer. Yeah. He was a good male boxer. And she didn't even go down. He hit her with 2 jabs, and she said, I'm out. How crazy is it? The weightlifters are great, though, because they put a 1/4 of an ounce here, a 1/4 of an ounce here. And she goes, by the way, First Lady of the United States hates when I do this. She says, it's so damn unpresidential. I said, but the people like it. Right, Marjorie? She doesn't like it. She's a very elegant woman. She doesn't like it. Should I do it, Marjorie? So, no, our First Lady, she said, you know, your speech was great, but this weightlifting thing is so unelegant. And please don't imitate him not being able to find stairs, because every time you do it, they say it was you that couldn't find the stairs. Sure. I'm very careful, because the press is among the most dishonest human beings in history. They know. Bruce knows. The great Bruce Lavelle. Stand up, Bruce. He's been with me from before I ran. He was with me in 2014, saying that guy in New York should run. He'll be great president. That was long before I even read. I didn't even know about it. I think you might have convinced me to run. I don't know. Some of these people, you know, some people have been with me long before I ran. They would say, Trump should run. That we had Romney. Remember Romney? And they did polls. Romney and Paul Ryan, what a combination that was. Whoops, there we go off Fox. Fox just won. No, Paul Ryan's on the board of Fox. What a mistake that was. But they had Romney and Paul Ryan. What a team that was. They got clobbered. They got clobbered. The choice of this election could not be more stark. On the one hand, you have a radical left freak. You have a candidate who is fake, fake, fake. On the other hand, you have a president who will fight, fight, fight for America. Fight, fight, fight. I will, I promise. I will. By the way, the fire marshal, I love him. Could the school people allow, there's some seats right up there. They could let him come in. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. Let the people come in. They're standing outside, thousands of them. Let them come in. It's obviously, Marjorie, a very liberal school, I guess, right? I'm not happy with the school. Let them come in. They're standing. It's 95 degrees out. Let them come in. There's some seats. Now, they got thousands of people. They won't let them in. A Harris presidency. You know why? Because they don't want to show that we're successful. That's all it is. They don't want to show. She has to go get entertainers. They start leaving as soon as she opens her mouth. Well, Hillary used to do that, too. I remember she got Bruce Springsteen. I'm not I'm not a huge fan. I have a bad trait. I only like people that like me. Yeah? Does that make sense? And these people like me, Bert, right? These people like me. No. No, Hillary used to do it all the time. She got the idea from Hillary. Hillary got Bruce Springsteen, I'll never forget. And the place was pretty full. Not full like our places are full. And I don't have a guitar. I don't have a guitar. I don't have a guitar, but our places are bigger. We get more people than anybody. I don't care how many guitars they have. You know, in New Jersey, we had 107,000 people come. Nobody has that. Nobody. In Alabama, we had 68,000 people. In South Carolina, we had 82,000 people. That had closed up the whole state. We even did one in the South Bronx in New York. Rough place, but boy, it was love. 25,000 people. It was love. It was love. But I'll never forget that Hillary, and she had, and they were all saying, oh, she drew, 25,000 people or something. Then he finished with the concert. She starts speaking, and everyone's leaving. I said, that's not working out so good. That's not working out, right? But I don't know. You have to be real. If people show up, people show up. But to do that, I don't know. There's something pretty phony about it. But she had somebody. Who did she have? Who was the entertainer that she had, you know? Yeah. That's what I think. By the way, the entertainer couldn't fill the place either. Even with the help of the school's trying to get students, please go. This is embarrassing to us. Please go. No. Wasn't Hillary a beauty when I campaigned against her? She said, look at him. Look at him. Just look at those words he uses. He will start wars. No, I had no wars. I got rid of ISIS, 100% of ISIS, but that was already started. I was the one that had no wars, first time in 80 years. In California, Harris was the original Marxist prosecutor. She was in the role of Fannie Willis. Has anybody ever heard of Fannie Willis? You know, Fannie Willis is a good friend of your governor. You know that? Your governor. I'm not a fan of your governor, but she was in the role of Fannie Willis or Larry Krasner, George Gascon, Alvin Bragg of New York. Oh, he goes after me. He goes after me because of the Justice Department. Never happened before. The DA of San Francisco, Harris, shielded illegal alien crack dealers from deportation. She wouldn't let them be deported. She fought like hell. She wouldn't arrest criminals of the worst kind. She wouldn't arrest murderers. She wouldn't arrest anybody. The state has gone to hell. Gavin Newsom is the worst, one of the worst governors. Gavin Newsom. But she was the one that started it. She ruined San Francisco, ruined California. As California Attorney General, she defined and redefined child sex trafficking, assault with a deadly weapon, and rape of an unconscious person raped as nonviolent. These were nonviolent crimes. We shouldn't even prosecute these people. To help spring child predators and dangerous criminals out of prison all over the state. And during the left-wing riots of 2020, you saw that, she urged her followers to donate to bail rapists and murderers out of jail while saying that the violent mobs should not stop. They should not stop. She said she was endorsing to fund the police, and she said, violent mobs, let the violent mobs keep going. Let them keep going. We love what they're doing. We love what they represent. This is the lunatic that the fake news is trying to build up to be the next Margaret Thatcher. You know, 4 months ago, she was considered grossly incompetent by the fake news. Now they're saying, oh, isn't she wonderful? Isn't she wonderful? No, she's not wonderful. So we have to work hard to define her. I don't want to even define her. I just want to say who she is. She's a horror show. She'll destroy our country. For years, she has pushed legislation to strip police officers of any protection. They have no protection. Anything they do, they get sued, they go bankrupt, they lose their house, they lose their family, they lose their pension. They ruin their lives. They want to ruin their lives. She was the worst at ruining police officers. And by the way, I have the endorsement of virtually every police organization in the United States. Almost every. And when I'm president of the United States, again, we will never defund the police. We will only overfund. We're going to overfund the police if we have to. I will always give our law enforcement heroes the protection, resources, and respect that they so dearly deserve. And like other Marxist DAs, and she was the first of them. She was horrible. She was horrible. She had a very good friend named Willie Brown. I liked Willie Brown. He knows more about her than anybody's ever known. He could tell you every single thing about her. Could tell you stories that you're not going to want to hear. Like other Marxist DAs, Kamala supports abolishing cash bail, which means bloodthirsty criminals that just killed somebody can immediately leave custody, go out and kill somebody else, which, by the way, they often do. Under these kinds of woke, radical left policies, Atlanta is like a killing field, and your governor ought to get off his ass and do something about it. Just a few weeks ago, two 13-year-old boys were murdered and an 11-year-old was shot while sitting outside their house in southwest Atlanta. In June, a 47-year-old man, a 69-year-old woman, and a 70-year-old woman were shot in the middle of the day, shot right through the head in the food court of Peachtree Center, what a nice name, in downtown Atlanta, where you can't even walk anymore. The shooter had been previously arrested 11 times, but they think it was 24 times. He'd gone to prison for assault and armed robbery many times. Since I was president, aggravated assaults in Atlanta are up 17%, and there's a 20% increase in shoplifting and a 90% increase in overall crime. Murders are up massively. Murders, you go to the store, I want to buy a loaf of bread, darling. You come back, ma'am, I'm sorry, but your husband's been killed. He went for bread across the street. He's been shot to death, ma'am. Nationwide, there's been a 43% increase in violent crime since I left office, including a 58% increase in rape, 89% increase in aggravated assault, and a 56% increase in stone-cold robbery. July 4th weekend in Chicago, 117 people were shot. 100, I'm not talking about I'm talking about shot. Not aimed at and missed, but I can guarantee you that number was big. But 117 people were shot. Of the 117, 17 died. Many are going to be incapacitated. They're going to be working for the rest of their lives just to move. Many are paralyzed. Many of those people are paralyzed right now. Nobody ever talks about that. So 117 people shot, 17 died. Many very seriously hurt for the rest of their lives. If Kamala wins, it will be crime, chaos, and death all across our country. We're going to have just the opposite. You know, it's up to the governors and the mayors to run things, but with Minnesota, which was a disaster, Minneapolis, the crimes. Remember the CNN reporter? This is a friendly riot. Oh, please, I'd rather not use the word riot. This is a friendly get-together. And behind him, the whole city is burning down. Remember that? Remember, it was like the flames were going like for miles. And then he got hit on the knee with something. I think it was a hand grenade that didn't go off. Remember him with the shaved head? Ding, 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 shaved his head. How do I look? Great. Then he goes down, a hand grenade hits him. How do I look, darling? Oh, you look great. They call it the summer of love, remember? They took over Seattle, 20%. If I didn't have the soldiers ready to go that morning, that Seattle would still be occupied. They actually took over a large percentage of Seattle. Portland, what they did with Portland. You know, I was in the real estate business. I love storefronts, beautiful bronze. I love bronze and beautiful everything. Storefronts, so beautiful. In Portland, you know they have a storefront? Their storefronts have been so decimated, they use old 2x4s with a wooden door. No glass, no windows. It's the worst looking avenue I've ever seen because, and I spoke to people that have shops there. They don't have them anymore, they've all fled. But the few people that remain, they have wooden storefronts made out of old lumber, and they said, no, anything we put up, including this, will be knocked down the next time, and it happens on a weekly basis. And nobody does anything about it. If I didn't bring out, they knew the military was coming in the next day in Seattle. If they didn't know that, and they fled, they all said, oh, it's about time to get it. You know, when they were doing monuments in Washington, Marjorie knows this, I got an old bill, because I doubt we could ever get Congress to pass one like this. And they were trying to rip down monuments, and then it was Abraham Lincoln. They were going to rip down the monument to Abraham Lincoln. They were ripping down other monuments. They didn't care who it was. They just wanted to destroy our country. And I took this old bill from 1889. Today, you wouldn't have the guts to sign a thing like that, although they should. They should make it even tougher. And it said, if you desecrate or even touch a monument in any way, shape, or form, you go to jail for 10 years, and there's no shortened sentence. There's no shortened sentence. There's no, like, you get 9 years off for good behavior. No, it's 10 years, and you're not allowed to even do that. No judge is allowed to do it. In fact, it was so old when I had it. I'm saying, this is an old sucker. This thing is old. But I reinstituted it. It was so severe, frankly, that they didn't use it. And then I had a press conference, remember, and I announced anybody, and people were, you know, doing lassos of those gorgeous horses and all the things up there. And yet you saw it the other day. They were doing it again in Washington, D.C. with spray paint into limestone and granite. You know, the limestone, it's a very porous stone. I was very good at this. I was a builder, as you may have heard. And the limestone, that paint goes in there, sucks. In 100 years, you'll see that. There's nothing you can do. It just goes right in. It's very, very porous. It's sand, basically. Beautiful sand, beautiful lions, beautiful monuments, the bells and everything, desecrated. And I wonder what happened to those people. Probably nothing, right? Probably nothing. What they did tremendous damage. They did tremendous damage. But so I announced this bill, and the bill, I had a press conference to announce it. And I said, 10 years for anybody even touching any of our beautiful monuments. You know what happened? It was a beautiful sight. I saw thousands of asses, only the back, walking out of town. Some were running. They didn't want to do anything. They just wanted to get the hell out of town. And that was the end of the problem. We didn't have any more problem. We had no more problem after that. There was no problem, and that was the end. You didn't hear about it after that, Mr. Congressman, did we? Collins, good speaker he is. He's got a future. Does he have a future, Marjorie? I don't know. Got the look. He's got the hair. Good job. I watched. Good job. We will restore law and order to America. We will bring back public safety to the great state of Georgia, which is doing very badly in that way. And on day one, we will seal the border, stop the invasion, and send the illegal aliens back home, and we'll do it very quickly. For 3.5 years, Border Czar Harris, and again, she refuses to acknowledge that she was the border czar. She was the worst manager we've ever had, ever. And by the way, all of the people in charge of the border, they've all endorsed me. They said he was the greatest president we've ever had. Tom Homan, you know, Brandon Judd, all of those guys, they've all endorsed me. And they said, she's the worst, I mean, it's hard for them to say that, but, you know, they said there's never been anybody so incompetent. For 3.5 years, Border Czar Harris has allowed terrorists and criminals to pour across our wide-open border. And now she's denying it. You can't fall for it. Disinformation. Deny, 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 deny for a year. We'd never done. Nothing happened. We were great. We were great. We were so tough. And some people will start